Thank you for joining us for today's Q&A call. We'll focus mostly on the topic of the week, which is the calories that we're looking at and also the protein as well. So to start, do you have any questions yourself, Laura, about calories or anything? Because I've got a few in the question box that we can go over. Did you want to ask away now or did you want to ask at the end?
No, I haven't got any questions at this point.
Yeah, okay. So I'll dive straight in with the questions that we've had in the question box and then we can go from there. So the first question that we've had about calories is how much of a deficit should I be in? How do I know where to start? So I'll pop a calorie calculator in the group chat and we can use this calculator to calculate how many calories we want to have each day. So when we're thinking about how many we're having each day, we want to think about how many calories it's going to take for our body to cope with everyday life. So it'll be our sorry, I hope you don't mind, I'm just going to mute your thingy if that's all right. Where are you? Oh, you froze. Sorry, bear with us. There we go. So sorry, carrying on. So when we think about our calories throughout the whole day, this is how many calories it's going to take for us to stand up and brush our teeth, to cook the dinner, to walk to work, to sit at a desk all day, or to move about doing housework, to exercise and everything. So it's not just about calories for exercise, but it's about calories to get through the whole day. So when you use the calculator to find out how many calories you need each day, you'll see that is your whole total if you want to maintain your weight. So looking at that maintenance calories, you then want to take away 200 to 300 calories, and that will create your calorie deficit, because what you'll do there is you'll eat less calories than your body needs to get throughout the day, and therefore your body will use its fat stores to then provide energy for the rest of the day. So then you'll actually be using your fat stores, so therefore losing them as well. So I'll pop the calorie calculator into the group chat so you can use that to calculate your calories. And this is helpful to find where to start with if we're wanting to maintain our weight or lose a weight, but doesn't necessarily mean that we then have to track calories all the time to stick to that calorie deficit. So if you've got a good idea about calories, then you can look at your food already, look at portion sizes, maybe start measuring out pasta portions, cereal portions, those main parts of your meals that will have a big difference on your calories. Same with drinking, same with snacks. If you have a little look at those to start off with, it means that we don't necessarily have to track the calories to reduce our calories, but we could just look at our food as an overall and then make some changes to reduce the calorie intake as well. If you wanted to track calories on MyFitnessPal, you can do. Sometimes this is can be quite overwhelming when we're starting off our journey as well. If we've got exercise to start doing and we're trying to get to grips with scanning barcodes and scanning portion sizes, it can be quite full on. So if you wanted to look at your food as in looking at your shopping list, a little bit like what we said about in the coaching video, look at your food overall in the shopping list and think, right, how many swaps can I make initially? Say we're having full fat yogurt every day, we could swap it for a low one, so that will reduce some calories. Or if we've got full fat cheese everywhere, then we can have reduced cheese. So those little swaps will add up, so you don't necessarily have to count calories for you to then reduce them. And another way to reduce calories without necessarily counting them could be to have your overall total. So say your maintenance calories is 2,000, so you've taken away 300 and you're now in a deficit and you're eating 1,700. You could divide that by, what's going to be using numbers here, say 3. So you had 3 meals a day at 500 calories and you've got 200 calories spare. So that you've got 3 meals that you've got to aim for 500 calories and then 200 calories for, some yogurt and banana as a little snack somewhere. So this is a good way of breaking it down so that you're not tracking literally every food all the time, but you're tracking more so the meal. Because then if you go, say, have a Tesco's meal deal, or if you're going out for a meal, you can actually look at the calories as a whole and say, well, I'm trying to have 500 calories per meal, so what can I have? So that's another nice little way of looking at that. So they can help us achieve the initial part of creating a calorie deficit. Then I had another question which links in quite well of how can I stick to my calorie deficit. So obviously with eating less, we are going to feel hungrier, and that's where it then is hard to stick to a calorie deficit, because obviously we want to be eating food because we're hungry. So a good way to try and overcome this, so we're not going to overcome it to the point where we're never going to feel hungry, because we are in a calorie deficit, so that is kind of what happens. But we can reduce the feelings of hunger by having high protein meals. It's really making sure that we're getting 30 to 50 grams per meal, so a good size bit of chicken breast, tuna, 3 eggs, or opting for higher protein yogurts, even having a protein shake. All that kind of stuff will help us keep fuller for longer. Doesn't mean that having protein we can then ignore calories. We want to make sure that we're still having high protein, but within the amount of calories that we want to be having as well. Because I've had clients before where they know that having protein stuff is good for a calorie deficit, but they'll be having protein shakes, protein bars, protein yogurts, and their 3 meals a day, and it usually then adds up to quite a lot of calories without them realising. So yes, high protein, but make sure it still fits into your calorie intake too. A good way to balance the calorie intake is making sure we're getting plenty of fruit and veggies, because see, they're really low in calories but really high in volume. So making sure our snacks and meals are full of all this stuff will make sure that they're nice and full. They look full, so psychologically our brain is fuller after having a meal. We take longer to eat the food because it's a bigger meal. If there's more veggies in it, we'll be chewing more. So then feelings of hunger will increase as well, even to the point of how much food is in our stomach and how much our stretch receptors are in our stomach are being stretched. That can increase fullness as well. So if you're having lots of fruit, lots of veggies, that will help with that feeling too. And in terms of actually sticking to the calorie deficit long term, it can be ideal to reduce decision fatigue as well. So this is if we've got lots of choices available to us. We might get overwhelmed and end up packing it in and opting for something completely different. So say we've got loads of foods in the house, loads of healthy foods, all good stuff, but then it comes to the Wednesday night and you're thinking, God, what am I supposed to make? I don't know what to make. Maybe you're low on energy, quite tired, and anything that you've got to make is quite a faff. So then you've got decision fatigue if you don't know what to make and where to start. So you might end up ordering a Domino's or having 2 slices of bread and that being it. So trying to reduce decision fatigue will help you stay to your calorie deficit. And we can achieve this by planning our meals each week and making sure we get the food shop done each week, but not just planning and getting those foods in, but making sure we're buying foods that work into that routine. So if you know that Wednesday nights you usually feel tired and you're busier, then know that having a quick jacket potato in the microwave for 5 minutes and tuna is quick enough, hits the targets. Maybe some microwave peas and sweet corn ticks the boxes, and that's what helps you. So it's not about having all these fancy healthy meals. Sometimes it's about getting all the quick stuff, stripping it back and trying to make it as healthy as possible. So that's a good way of merging those ones. Another thing I've had previous clients do is invest in HelloFresh or Gusto meals, because you can pick your calorie intake through the meals of those as well. So they're a good way of reducing that decision fatigue of what to have, what to buy, and how to measure out the portions, because that's already done for you. So that helps a lot as well. And then, do you need to shoot off, Laura? Are you okay?
No, I'm alright.
Yeah, okay. So then another thing as well, another client's tried before, is the actual MyProtein either fridge or freezer meals, and also the Slimming World meals as well, because some of them can be pretty decent for calories, veggies, and protein as well. So if you need quick meals to start off with, if you're trying to stick to a calorie deficit and you need to reduce decision fatigue and you need something that's like, here's what you're having and that's it, rather than having to make and faff around, then they could be some really good options just to get started with. And then you can start to add in any other bits of veg that you want to add in. Maybe it's some frozen veg that you do in the microwave quick to bulk the meal up, and you can start to change them to suit. So yeah, so really good ways of sticking to a calorie deficit is planning, keeping organised, and finding foods that work with your routine. So quicker meals, maybe fruit and veg that's already cooked, or cut, pre-cooked meats, making sure we're getting high protein and even trying those frozen meals too. So then last question, quick one, is how long should I be in a calorie deficit for? So this program is 8 weeks and we're now on our 3rd week. So the answer to this works quite well. We want to start with a 6 to 8 week time period for a calorie deficit, because we want to make it short enough that we can see the end point so we can actually stick to it. And then we want to reassess this after about 6 or 8 weeks, because your activity levels might have changed, your body weight might have changed, and your habits might have changed as well. So we want to make sure that the calorie deficit is still working alongside all of those. So I'd always say, once we've set a goal for a calorie deficit, stick to it for 6 to 8 weeks, so it's long enough to see change, but also not too long that it feels too far away to actually stick to it and achieve it. And then from there, we can reassess and make any necessary changes. So there are all the questions that we've got in the question box. I know you're quite busy there, Laura. I can see you back in the car and everything. Do you have any other questions about the calorie deficits, or where to start with them?
No, I don't think so.
No. Like, we're a bit busy right now anyway.
No, I've worked out my thingy and I've put it in my fitness pal. It's just sticking to it.
Yeah, exactly. Sticking to it is the hard bit. So that's where the decision fatigue, high protein meals, lots of fruit and veggies, really good as well. And having a plan as well. So if you do need more of a help with that, drop me a private message and we can talk through that over voice note as well. So
yeah,
we'll do it now, but I can see you rushing.
Yeah, thank you.
Good. No, you're welcome.
I might do another week and then send you it and then see where you think I can improve.
Yeah. Good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll wrap it up there for today. I hope it's been helpful and has led to some other new good ideas as well to help. And then if you have any questions or anything else that you'd like help with throughout the week, just drop me a message.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Speak to you soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.